Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. Go to effortlessenglishclub.com. Join my VIP program. Learn to speak English confidently, fluently, powerfully, persuasively. Join my VIP program at effortlessenglishclub.com. Effortless English Show. Today's topic: get off your knees and fight for your dreams. You are surrounded by doubters, people who doubt you, who doubt your big ideas, who doubt your big dreams, who doubt your big goals. You're surrounded by critics, people who criticize you. Criticize you when you fail, criticize you when you make mistakes, criticize you when you do something foolish, criticize you when you have a big idea, it doesn't work. And you hear these voices in your head, right? Over time, in your life, these voices of the doubters, the critics, they get into your head, and you start to hear them, so that even when people are saying nothing, you're still imagining, right? You're still imagining the criticism. You're still imagining the doubt. Their voices become your own voice inside your own head, doubting yourself, criticizing yourself. Why is this a problem? Because it stops you from taking action, causes you to doubt yourself, to hesitate, to fear taking that action, to fear trying to achieve your dreams, whatever they are. Now, it's not your fault, because especially these doubts, the criticism was put into your head by the school system over many years, by the media over many years, all the TV and movies you've watched, and possibly in your life, other people in your life. Maybe you were lucky and you had a very positive family and great parents who encouraged you, and others in your life who encouraged you, and that's great. But a lot of people don't have that. So a lot of people also have important people in their life who criticize them and doubt them and make them feel hesitant and fearful. But even if you had everybody in your family, everyone around you was positive, you're still going through the school system. So you're getting it all the time, the doubts, the criticisms, the worries. This causes you to do two things. Number one, to doubt yourself, to not believe in yourself. You lose confidence in yourself, in your ability to handle problems and difficulties. You lose confidence in failing and learning from it and surviving and continuing. The other thing you learn is to obey, to fear the criticism of others, to fear other people laughing at you, saying you're foolish, saying you were wrong, all those things, right? In school, all the peer pressure, we call it, the pressure from the other kids, criticizing and bullying anybody who's different, anybody who looks a little foolish, a little uncool. Maybe you don't realize it, but these messages go deep because they happen to you when you're young, before you can resist them very well. And this is why so many have these negative voices constantly doubting themselves and criticizing themselves. Even if everyone else around them says nothing, you still have the voice in your head stopping you. And if you have other people also saying negative things to you, it's even worse. It's even worse. what to do. It's not your fault, right? Like I said, it happened to you probably when you were too young to really understand what was happening, and it was over so many years. By the time you got out of school, it's all in your head already. What to do? I mean, what most people do is they let the fear win. They let the fear win, and they never really try to achieve their own dreams. Maybe they dreamed of traveling the world. They don't do it. Maybe they dream of being an artist or a musician. They don't even try. Maybe they dream of starting their own business. They don't even try. Or of studying abroad, or maybe going into some career, trying to be a doctor, trying to be whatever, a lawyer, a psychologist, a social worker. It doesn't matter, right? So many people don't even try, or they quit almost immediately because of these doubts and fears and the criticisms. So what can you do? I know it's easy to say, well, don't listen to those things, but they're still in your head all the time. Well, how do you deal with it? I'm going to give you a really good strategy and a good word today, a very, very excellent English word that will give you some power. And the word is defiance. Defiance. The verb is to defy, D-E-F-Y, to defy. This is a powerful word. It has a strong emotional feeling in English. To defy, and the noun is defiance. What does this mean? It means like rebellion, resistance, to fight against. And it has the idea of fighting against something that's wrong, or fighting against someone who is wrong. It means fighting for something that's good, fighting for something that's truthful, fighting for yourself, going against the critics, going against the doubters, going against the voices in your head that are negative. Defiance, defy them. Let me give you an example. A very famous example, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, many basketball fans say Michael Jordan was the greatest basketball player ever, professional basketball player in the NBA. That he's still the greatest ever. He's retired now, of course, but many people say he's still the best. LeBron's good, but he's not better than Jordan was. Steph Curry's good, not better than Jordan. You can argue about this, but he certainly was one of the greatest ever. And it's kind of famous, at least in America, that Michael Jordan has an interesting personality. Because in interviews, and even after he retired in interviews, and when he talked about his success, he had this strong defiance, this strong attitude of defiance. He used this emotion as motivation to become great, to succeed and become great. How did he do that? Well, see, it turns out way back when he was in high school, when he was good, this is the time in America where a lot of athletes really become serious. It's at the high school level. This is where they have the possibility to maybe become really good and possibly go to become professional, or not good enough and they get cut and then it's over. Their athletic career is finished. So in high school, I think it was his early days of high school, Michael Jordan got a lot of criticism from coaches. He was not like the star of his team, and several people in his life told him he was not good enough. I think it was coaches and maybe some fans or other students or other people in the team, that he was not good enough. He was not great. So, doubters, doubt and criticism. He got the same thing. But what did Michael Jordan do? He used it. See, he decided, instead of letting that make him weak, he decided to use it to make himself stronger. So he decided to have this attitude of defiance. He said, I'm going to show them they are wrong. I'm going to prove them wrong. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to be great and show them they were wrong. I'm going to defy their criticism, defy their negativity, defy their doubts. So he used this to get more and more motivation, right? It's a little bit of an angry feeling even. And sometimes we think, oh, angry is a negative emotion. It's always bad. Not true. It's how you use it. Anger can give you a lot of power if you use it well. If you use it to motivate yourself, to work harder, to take action, to do the right thing, then anger can be very powerful. So this is what Michael Jordan did. He used that anger. He used the criticism and the doubt. He became defiant. That's the adjective. He became defiant, and he started working harder just to show everybody, all the critics and the doubters, that they were wrong, to prove them wrong. And he did, obviously. He did. What's really interesting, though, that's somewhat of a common story, but what's really interesting is that he had his whole professional career. He became, what many people say, the best professional basketball player ever, one of the greatest at least. He retired, and then after they interviewed him, after he retired, his whole career's finished, he still mentioned this story. And he still said, I showed them they were wrong. He was still using it as motivation. Amazing. He was still getting power from it. So he was taking the negative opinions, the doubts, the criticisms, what most people use to become weak, he took it and used it to become stronger and more powerful. You can do this too. Instead of getting fearful, oh, people might criticize me, I might look foolish, I might not look cool. You can still decide to use it as power, as fuel, right? We talked about this week, fuel, gasoline for your engine of learning. You can use it, this is true for any kind of learning or success. And you can even take something like a little bit of anger, a little bit of doubt, and turn it into power, turn it into that fuel for motivation. Defy them. Show them they are wrong. Work harder. Work smarter. Show the doubters, show the critics that they are wrong, and you will get a lot of happiness. You can get great joy and happiness when you succeed and you have been criticized a lot. It can actually feel even better, right? I've got an ambulance going by here. So like imagine, you're starting, let's say you're a basketball player. You're a young basketball player and you're starting your career. Let's let this ambulance go by, a little noisy. Okay, so imagine you're a young basketball player, you're starting your career, and everybody tells you, you're great, you're wonderful, oh, you're going to be a superstar. And everybody tells you this all the time. That's all you hear. You're wonderful, you're great, you're wonderful, you're great, you're wonderful, you're great, you're wonderful, you're great. Years and years they tell you, and then finally you succeed. Yeah, probably you'll still be happy. You'll still be very happy. You become a professional and you become a great player. That'll feel good. You'll still feel proud of yourself, right? But in a way you almost expected it because everybody told you your whole life that you were going to be great and wonderful. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine from your whole life, you love playing basketball, but everybody around you told you, you can't do it. You can't do it. You'll never be a good basketball player. You'll never succeed. You should quit now. And just everybody around you, 100% negative, criticizing you, doubting you all the time. And you have to fight and you have to overcome the doubt and overcome the criticism and all this negativity. And you struggle and you struggle and you fight and it's so difficult. And then finally, you succeed. You become a professional. You become great. Imagine how fantastic that would feel. I think for most people, it will feel even better. Why? Because you overcame more. You had to fight harder to achieve it. right? It wasn't easy. You weren't 100% supported. It was challenging. It was difficult. It was tough. And you still succeeded. Imagine how good you would feel about yourself for fighting through all of that and still succeeding. It's just like if you were, let's say you're a weightlifter, right? You want to be strong. You're lifting a weight over your head. If you lift 10 kilograms over your head, are you going to feel super excited? Probably not. Why? Because it's easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. There's no challenge. There's no difficulty. You don't have to motivate yourself. You don't have to overcome weaknesses. You don't have to overcome doubts. You don't have to really grow stronger as a person. Your muscles don't have to get any stronger. Nothing at all. But imagine you could lift over, suddenly after years of training, you finally, you get the world record. I don't know what the world record is, but let's say you lift, 300 kilograms over your head. Now, you're going to feel so much more excited and happy and proud of that achievement. Why? Because it's difficult. Because you had challenges. Because there were many times you thought, I'll never do it. And still you kept going. Because people doubted you. Because you even doubted yourself sometimes, and yet still somehow you finally did it. Or, maybe you're a runner. Maybe you're not even a runner. Maybe you're overweight. And right now, just to walk 5 kilometers is super, super, super difficult. You can't do it. You can't do it. You're out of shape. You can't do it. And you suddenly one day you go out and you walk 1 kilometer. Will you feel fantastic? Will you feel like you achieved something wonderful and great? Will it change you? No. No challenge. But imagine you start training and working hard. You decide, I'm going to run a marathon. And you train maybe 6 months, a year, running and running and running every week, almost every day. And it's hard, and some days it's really hard. Some days it's raining and you're out running in the rain. Some days it's cold, you're running in the cold. In the summer, you're running in the heat and you're pouring sweat. And some days you're really tired, you don't want to do it at all. But you keep going, and then you get into the race, you do the marathon, you're feeling good, and then at halfway you start feeling tired, your legs hurt, and your shoulders hurt. Oh, you want to quit, but you keep going. And then you're getting towards the end, you're exhausted, you're tired, and then there's a big hill. It's even harder at the end. And you don't quit though, you keep going, and you cross the finish line and you do it. How do you feel in that moment? I'll tell you, you feel fantastic. Because it was hard, because you doubted yourself many times, maybe because even other people doubted you. But you defied the doubt and you kept going. You kept fighting. In many parts of life, if something's too easy, we don't feel any satisfaction. Why? It does not push us to grow. It does not push us to become stronger. It does not push us to become smarter. It does not push us to be better people, to believe in ourselves, to become more confident. It's really those changes that are so important. And so, if you dream about starting your own business, but you're afraid, that's okay. But defy the fear, keep going. If you're surrounded by people who are doubting you and criticizing you because you're trying this strange way of learning English, effortless English, that's okay. Keep going. It's going to feel even better when you succeed. And show them. And show yourself. Whatever it is, whatever those dreams are. You need to stand up for yourself. You need to stand up for the truth. You need to stand up for your dreams, especially when you are criticized, especially when you fear the criticism, especially when you doubt or others doubt you. Especially then, stand up, get off your knees. So many people live on their knees. It means They're bowing to somebody else. They're letting someone else stand over them and stop them from living the life they want. Or maybe they're letting a lot of people stand over them. You need to stand up. Defy them, defy the doubters, defy the haters, defy the critics. Use it as fuel, use it as motivation, and I promise you, you will succeed, and it will feel even better when you do. Join my VIP program at effortlessenglishclub.com. Go to effortlessenglishclub.com. Lots of love to you. Mwah! See you next time.